Then an interesting concept was placed in. The concept of the soul, the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, which is now where you have especially all your Palladians and Syrians and all these aliens, they're coming from your fifth dimension, the dimension of the soul. In that dimension, it is that which you aspire to, so that when you die, you will not ask questions. You will accept whatever is presented to you. That is always the bottom line. Because there was an interesting difficulty in the whole design of the God delusion. How to keep everyone deluded. That at the moment of death, for a singular moment, you suddenly understand everything. But the moment your attention is grabbed again, you're screwed. And you will accept what is presented to you because it's all that there is. There is nothing else. You cannot conceive that there can't be anything. So whatever is here must be in heaven, must be real. So you accept it in that moment of acceptance. Heaven as it existed was real. At that moment, that which you were on earth as the being, which was recorded, because it's like, if you go back and you look at the tree that emerged from the seed, you can actually cut it up and you'll notice that in its existence is its existence recorded. You can trace back its history. The same point was within the human. The physicality was such a representation, but it died and returned to earth. So, to be able to keep the information, a device was needed, and that device was magnetic in nature, which is where our magnetic technologies come from. That which records information. This was recording your life, which was your soul construct, your experiences, and that was then taken from your death and placed in the Akashic records. So, that after death, you would actually suddenly be free from all the memories you had on earth. That was such a difficult thing, which is like heaven. What is your release really? You're only released from your memories. It's not a real release. You're being released from your self-judgments, from the points where you were not strong enough. But all of that was just a mind construct, not real. The only part you will remember, or that was recorded in your life, was the actual events and the mind interpretation of it. Your actual life within the construct of this reality of what is important was not. Animals, for instance, had none such devices. They were dealing as a group soul. So therefore, their consideration was placed in a consideration as a group. Same with plants. So when they died, they would simply return to the group soul, which had an input program that they are acting in the interest of everyone in unconditional love. So immediately they accepted that, because this is why I exist. I exist for the betterment of whole, while they are busy with their process of ascension, their process of getting closer to God. And how was that? That was so fascinating, because the fifth dimension was the soul. So imagine what was the sixth dimension. The sixth dimension was where you would become no longer reincarnating, but you are now in the service of God. Therefore you will remain in the heaven, and you will help with the programming. So you are instructed what to do, and you do it without asking questions, because you are apparently not good enough to actually at that stage yet to understand everything. You are not evolved enough, you are not ascended enough. But you are no longer required to reincarnate. That means your programming, your input is now so effective that you will never question what has been happening in heaven and earth. The seventh dimension was when you can be trusted to know how things work. And that in that knowing you have programmed yourself to a level of acceptance that what you are doing is in the interest of everyone. And you will now stand up and fight for it, which was the dimension of the Ascended Masters. At that point, you will now deliberately act in the interest of God, the system. That input-output system. Not questioning anything because you have completely accepted the process, the point and the purpose of how everything existed. As an ascended master, which is the same as being Christed, you are now Christ conscious at the seventh dimension. You are now someone that will not ever question God, but will stand by God. You will not question how creation took place, where the information, why the system, why the input. You are now part of God. You are now one with God in the seventh dimension. You are now a child of heaven. You are exalted, special, profound. Nobody dare question you because God will step up and protect you. Therefore, if you would then be requested to manifest on earth, that means to come back in a design as an avatar or an ascended master or a great being that will impact the information input on this in this reality, you were specially programmed because you were given certain accesses in this reality, because you will not question that which is here. Some beings manage to break through to a certain degree and did question certain points. What was the point? Is to make everyone on earth accept the status quo unquestionably, and to make sure everyone accept an interesting thing. They accept death unquestionably, and they accept heaven unquestionably, and the process of getting to a higher existence as the mind, as ascension. Because ascension exists as the mind only. And in that process, separating yourself completely from what is real. Leaving a fascinating thing. A total reality as heaven, interacting with earth, nothing of it is real, all of it is quanta. Quantum reality, within which certain beings, as God and His entourage, His servants, control it all just through a simple thing, through a seed, through what you see, through an input of information, a simple construct, so that you never question what's happened to you.